Now, we're going to get into what's right over my shoulder, the pyramid. So, it looks far away from here, but it's really closer than what it looks, just the lens, but it's actually very close and very big. But it's fitting that we get into the pyramids in the last part, because the pyramids is the clue to bringing everything together. The pyramid is going to make everything fit. And then going into the pyramid of Onyx and looking at the pyramid text, it's really getting into the pyramids themselves and getting people to understand why the pyramid shape. When you think and you look around the world, remember I showed you guys there's pyramids all over the earth. Why that shape? What's up with the shape? Why the pyramids? What's up with the capstone? Why is everything the way that it is when it pertains to the pyramids? It is really the clue to putting together this whole mystery. Everything seems to be pointing towards Kemet, pointing towards Saturn, except for the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs is pointing towards nothing. You just have these beasts that existed for millions of years, and we don't understand the purpose of their existence, which tells us what? Intelligent life did not begin here on Earth. It's just that simple. It didn't begin here on Earth. This Earth wasn't first prepared for us, but prepared for them, for the dinosaurs and for the animals that was here. It's just that clear. So when you understand that, you understand intelligent life did not begin here. You look at, creation. You look at the woman. And obviously clear, as I talked about, she was put here first. So the thing is, what you really got to ask yourself and you got to think about it is, okay, we can get into, 666 and everything like that, 6 electrons, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, that gives us carbon, that gives us life. We could talk about all that. But, we really just have to take it back to the basic, simple question that we always speak about. If we evolved from primates, as I talked about, how come we are not seeing this evolution now? We are not seeing primates, turn from primates into humans. We're not seeing that. If it's all about 6 electrons, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 666 and everything like that, if we crawled out of the primordial waters, or whatever you call it, if it's about these elements that came together to create the woman, how come we're not seeing it? We're not seeing women just come into existence out of nowhere. So that tells us that the woman had to be created. She had to be created. It's really going back to that whole saying, as I talked about before, what came first, the chicken or the egg? What came first, the woman or, the baby? And you can't get the baby without the woman. Plain and simple. So again, she had to be created. She had to be made. We are not seeing existence of human beings outside the womb of a woman. It's just not happening. We're not seeing men and women come into creation outside the womb of the woman. The woman brings us into this planet. It's something that we all understand and know. So when you really get into it, and it's just, we bombarded by so much, it's stuff that we really don't think about, but we can settle it all right there with just that question. She didn't birth herself. Everything comes into existence. Every human came into existence by a woman. How did she come into existence? She had to be created. It's just that simple. So we can, right there, just by getting that technical, X out evolution. We can get rid of it. No, we didn't. And I went through all that on YouTube, and I went through all that. That's why I got into this stuff. So when we get to this final part, you will really be able to grasp that we did not come about through evolution. Plain and simple. When you look at the animals, they have a different consciousness. They have a different comprehension. Plain and simple. Billions of insects and animals on the planet. Not one of them has the comprehension of man. And we understand that because one, you can be driving down the road. Just give you a quick example. And the more you drive, the more roadkill you see. And you have to start thinking to yourself, how stupid can these animals be to not just wait for the cars to go by? I mean, this is your life we're talking about. It's over if you get hit by this car. How dumb can they be, to not just wait till there's absolutely no cars till they're 100% sure to cross the street? Yet we see countless animals, birds, getting hit by cars, roadkill. You see flies flying right at your car at Mach 10 when you're going down the road, thinking that, your window, they may be able to fly right through and come out the back. And, the consciousness of animals does not equal the consciousness of man. So if we evolve as they did, we will have their consciousness. We do not. But it's clear to see that this planet and the animals that are here, or was here too, was used to create these bodies that we have now. It's just that simple. There's no way around it. You can't look at the ape and not see you. I don't care if you're black or white. The hands look exactly like us. We know. We share these genes and we share this DNA, as I got into. So we are a, unique creation in the universe, plain and simple. I don't think people understand how complex our brain alone is, how complex the human body is. A lot of thought went into the creation of us. We are seriously complicated. This is not something that is just put together out of the blue. We are very complex people. And when you think about something, creating something that has to hold this much energy and a consciousness, it's amazing that they were able to do what they did in our creation. So we understand that we share genes, DNA with animals, and that we also share DNA and genes with whoever our creator is. The thing is, it's really hard to tell exactly where this creation took place, but it obviously didn't take place here on Earth. It had to have taken place somewhere else. So we are told, the Earth is unique, that the Earth is the only planet that can support life, and da-da-da. And then we found out later on that, possibly people live on Mars. There's possibly people living on Titan, which is one of the moons of Saturn. And, of course, the Greek gods, in Greek mythology, the Titans were, in Greek mythology. And a lot of the moons of Saturn are named after those Titans. The Titans were giants. Kronos, the god of Saturn, all that is going into Greek mythology, as I said, not a coincidence. Now, again, I talked about this before, the movie Prometheus. When they go onto that planet, they fly past Saturn and basically land on one of the moons of Saturn, which is where they find out that, aliens created human life. They go into a place that has the atmosphere of Earth, and they find out that these aliens that look, like us, we look like them, created us. And, you can't get much more clear than that and get into the understanding of what that movie is trying to tell us, which is why I use it a lot. And I was shocked at, the fact that they put that movie out the way that they did. It's giving away what a lot of people have already come to realize in esoteric circles a long time ago. As I said, this information is old. It's kindergarten stuff. It's stuff that a lot of people who've done their research is going to come to this same conclusion. So for some of you, this information might be like, wow, but this information it's been out here. It's been there. And a lot of people have gotten to that point, which you'll be at the end of this DVD, where you just say, okay, well, I got to learn everything else. There's a lot more to come to it that goes with it, but at least I got to this point where I can understand the situation that's going on, possibly going on here on the planet. So when you step back and start looking at the picture, that we were definitely created and put here on this planet, and everything that, that entails, all the questions that start to pop up when you start dealing with that aspect of us and, our purpose and, why were we created, what's going on and everything like that. Then, all the pieces start to fall into place when you start looking and searching and going back through history and looking at stuff. And as I will show you in this video, and as you will find out through your own research, there are so many different stories, so many different lanes you can go. The only thing you can do is connect the dots and put the pieces together that fit. Because when you get to this level of knowledge and information, when you start getting to this point, the only people that have the 100% true, correct answers, I would say, or the true story, are the powers that be, the people who actually know. As I said, we can only put together where the facts lead us, which is what I have done. And what a lot of people have done. And it's cool because I try to stay away from, this is why I don't really watch too many YouTube videos, where I don't really go into too many other people's stuff. And I find out, through a lot of you guys that, when I'm talking about stuff and I put stuff out, that people always say, well, have you read such and such book? They came to the same conclusion. I go and read the book and I'm like, wow, it validates my research to know that, before I came to this conclusion, somebody else had already came to the conclusion, and it validates my research and lets me know that the path that I was on and looking for all this stuff and trying to put together the pieces, I was on the right path blindly, on my own, just trying to figure it out, and was coming to the same conclusion as everybody else. That's validation. That's when you've done right research. You've done research, you followed the breadcrumbs, and it led you to the correct place. So dinosaurs ruled for millions of years during the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous period. And during that time, while they was ruling, while they was on the earth, there was something going on in the universe. There was Star Wars. So, Star Wars begins a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. There was, Star Wars. And everything points to it actually being a war in space. So when you go to the Bible, remember the Bible talks about the war in heaven. And, what is heaven? The heavens is basically space, as I talked about before. We understand that the heavens is space. Even when you go into Genesis and read about the firmament and everything like that, it's giving you the hint that the heavens is basically space. So there was this war. Everything points to this war happening. And in the Bible, we know, Satan fought the war, and he was basically banished to earth because of the war and everything like that. And when you understand esoterically who Satan is, esoterically, Satan represents us black people. Now, Satan has many aspects, of course, and you have to understand what aspect it's being used. But Satan represents us. Now, even though when you read the Bible in Genesis, it doesn't immediately get into this war. We understand later in the Bible, it speaks about the war, but we understand that the war happened before humans was created. Because we know when you get to the garden, Satan was in the garden, around the time humans was created. So he had to be banished to the earth, before we was created. So we understand that. So the key word is long ago in Star Wars. Long ago, something happened. There was this huge war. And from everything that we can ascertain, my research, the Bible gives us that hint. So we understand esoterically that Satan represents black people, and that our reptilian brain represents Satan and basically our fall in consciousness. Then, things really start fitting and making sense. So it's telling you, one, Satan fell because of the war. He fell because of the war. We fell because of consciousness. We are here because of our fall, because of this war. Plain and simple. So when you look at Satan falling and his angels being locked away, as Jude talked about, his angels was locked away in chains. His angels represents Satan's power. Plain and simple, Satan wouldn't be able to wage war without his angels. But the angels of Satan basically represents our consciousness, which is our powers. So Satan's angels being locked away is a metaphor for saying that our consciousness was locked away, our DNA was locked away, and we was basically banished here. Now, understand, as I'll explain later, this didn't happen immediately, after the war. It seems as if the war was going on and we came here to this planet, or we was put here on this planet. We came here due to some kind of capacity involving war. They speak about, basically 5 levels. And it's weird because the 5 levels can represent 5 dimensions, or you can kind of, put them in that order. But you're talking about people mastering the planet that they own. Mastering the planet and using all the planet's resources. That's one. Then mastering the sun. So you master the planet, all its resources. You master the sun and how the sun works with the planet to help you, basically expand. And you master the earth, the sun, and then you master your solar system. So Earth, Sun, your solar system, everything, all the planets that's close, you understand how to harness and use the energy of the planets close to you and the resources from the planet close to you. That's 3. So you have the planet, the sun, the solar system, then a galaxy. Harnessing the power from your entire galaxy. Understanding every planet, being able to travel to every planet, which would then, once you master all that, would give you the power to dimensionally shift, to shift dimensions. So as I've said, there's a lot of aspects to Satan. You have good, bad, light, dark, masculine, feminine, black, white, what have you. So many different aspects to Satan. You just have to understand in what aspect he's being referred to at any given time. So, it can be very confusing if you're not familiar with the esoteric teachings of Satan and all of the occult knowledge. So this is why there's a lot of confusion when it involves him, because, he can really Satan can mean so many different things. So you really got to get into the esoteric teachings, which I have a lot more coming up on Satan down the line.